hardest working man in comics. We are streaming to you live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, bringing you that Comic-Con life to the comfort of your home with these free, that's right, free celebrity panels. In addition to paid exclusive experiences, including one-on-one video private chats, custom recorded messages, and autographs, including these awesome cast members. Get ready, get ready. Those are always on sale at wizardworldvirtual.com and will continue to be so throughout the week. So even if you are watching a replay, definitely check out these once-in-a-lifetime experiences with your favorite cast members. Also, don't forget to check out signed memorabilia and works of art from our favorite artists and vendors from previous virtual experiences and physical conventions at wizardworldvirtual.com. We've got people from all over the world already tuned in. Let me give a quick shout out to the folks. We've got folks from the Netherlands, Germany, Brazil, New Jersey, Tennessee, California, Florida, France, North Carolina, New York. I feel like I'm singing a song. This is insane. We got people from Switzerland. Ladies and gentlemen, we have people from Switzerland. This is amazing. All right, so it is my absolute pleasure to bring to you the cast from The Nanny, one of the best shows in the entire 1990s spectrum. Okay, I said it, you heard it, I meant it. It's real. Make some noise, ladies and gentlemen, as we first bring to the virtual stage Renee Taylor. Hello. Absolute pleasure. Hello. How are you?
Great. If there's anybody from Switzerland, send me some chocolate.
You heard that here, okay? Next up, we have Nicole Tom. Hello. Hi. Absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. How are you doing today?
So happy to be here.
Oh,
I'm doing great.
Fantastic. Next up, we have Charles Shaughnessy.
Hi everyone.
Hello. And last but certainly not least, let's make some noise for Miss Laura Lane. Hello.
Hey, hello.
How are you guys
Great to be here.
Oh my goodness. Obviously, this is a very strange year for everyone. 2020 is absolutely weird. How are you guys doing?
Why is it weird?
Well, there's a plethora of strange occurrences going on around the world. COVID-19, any number of bits of unrest. So are you guys staying safe, sane, not killed anyone?
I have to say, personally, getting up whenever I like, going to bed whenever I like, and not feeling bad about it, reading books, watching TV, eating chocolate anytime I like, and just not feeling bad because, hey, there's nothing else to do. I'm not hating that part of it. There are other parts that are pretty awful, but that part's...
It's kind of a balance.
Yeah.
I totally understand.
Getting, home projects done that I've always wanted to do. And
give us an example.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy making chandeliers.
Wow.
And so I've made like 4 chandeliers. I'm I'm building a brick patio right now.
That's amazing.
Which is
look
really
how handy you are.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that's kind of still amazing.
Those bricks are heavy.
This is a whole post-pandemic career.
Yeah.
I noticed that the name of my shovel too, that I'm like, digging all the dirt up from, it's called a Corona shovel.
Whoa.
Which I was like, is that like a little, what is that?
I mean,
for just a second, I thought you were like naming your tools. This is Margaret.
This one's Corona. I mean, that might be a sign of something very bad. I don't want to say that.
An unfortunate name for a shovel.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Renee, how are you doing in the midst of all of this?
Great. I'm so excited about making this sex tape with all of you.
Oh my God. My grandmother's going to watch this and she's going to be like, are you doing what? And I'm like, Nana, it pays the bills. What do you want me to do? Okay. This is what it is. Oh my goodness.
We all got to see Renee do her most recent stage show. Renee, what did you call it?
My life on a diet. It's about what I was eating, what diet I was on while I was living my life.
It was brilliant. And I think all of us were there. Maybe, I'm not sure, but
opening night in Beverly Hills, it was
it was great.
It was so exciting, and I had to pay you very little to come.
Was there a food spread though? That's the real question.
Oh yeah.
Fran, Peter were there. That was nice. The writers
Amazing.
from The Nanny were there, the creators. It was really an exciting reunion.
That is awesome.
But it
That is-
wasn't like the sex tape that we're doing today.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So yes. Please continue.
Well, I was going to say, my friends live in, I think all of you are in Los Angeles. I'm in Austin, Texas, which is an insane place where people
No, I
don't.
hear it's a very in place now.
It is a cool city, except there's a lot of politics about whether or not to wear a mask and what that represents. And there's just that insanity. But yeah, it's a very cool town.
I
Very
hear
much
it's
so.
like Greenwich Village used to be.
I never lived in Greenwich Village when it used to be.
Well, when I was a younger actress, I used to live in Greenwich Village, and that was an exciting, artistic, creative place to
Mhm.
live. Now I'm living in Manhattan, right across the street from Lincoln Center.
Oh, beautiful.
Awesome.
Beautiful. I'm
Are you-
loving your backdrop too, because that's fabulous.
Thank you, thank you.
Very,
So
very
I
well.
moved here because I love the Metropolitan Opera, and I wanted to go to opera. So that's why I moved here. But right
Nice.
now, there's not too much opera.
Unfortunately.
Oh,
I've always wanted to go to the opera. I've never been.
Oh, well,
We're gonna have to make a date for that.
all over. Come to New York and stay with me, and we'll go to the opera together.
You know, my new what do you call it? My daughter's mother-in-law. My daughter just got married, had a pandemic wedding in a parking lot
Wow.
in Florence. They had these ticket booths set up in a parking lot, and you drive down there, and the two of them with their masks on. Then they got a text. They walked to the ticket booth, and the guy married them on a walkie-talkie.
Wow.
And that was it. So, and they'd had this huge wedding planned. We were staring down the barrel of like thousands of dollars of wedding. It ended up taking 30 seconds and cost $60.
Well, I mean,
The point is, her new husband's mother was a director. She directed at the Met Opera.
that's brilliant. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, that's amazing. So the thing that's brought us all together is the show The Nanny, and it was one of my favorites. I have to admit, I adored the show, and it fit a certain model of, different cultures coming together in one household and people of different walks of life finding that common ground, which I feel is so very important for those of us today to really appreciate. What was it like to be a part of this show when it was put together?
Well, it was great, except for the people that were. They were all snobs.
Oh my goodness. Renee's got all the jokes today. I love it. I love it.
We were the little engine that could. No one gave us any. We were like that. I don't know whether you all remember, but that year, that season, there were all these big names. Faye Dunaway had a TV series. All kinds of big names had TV series. And when we went to New York for the upfronts, where they kind of present the new show, The Nanny was right. We were actually next to the kitchen. We were way back. Our table was literally next to the kitchen. People would come up and ask us, if they could get an extra ice cream and things like that. And so no one gave us much of a shot. And we were the little engine that could. All those other shows, bit one by one, they got cancelled. And we just sort of kept going. And it was very exciting because we were all sort of experiencing this for the first time.
Yeah, it was my first sitcom. Actually, my first sitcom was the Drew Carey Show, but I got fired off of that. But
That's a story. We're gonna talk about that.
What?
I said that's a story. We're gonna have to talk about that.
Yeah, but then they fired like the wife from that show. It was a different Drew Carey show.
Okay.
And then like the next week they fired Drew Carey, and then he created a new show.
Oh, wow.
Which was the Drew
So
Carey
you
Show.
were in good company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fired for. I heard
Everybody got fired from it.
you were brought up on a morals charge.
What?
Just kidding.
she's ribbing you right now in the
I
best
never
way
That's something
possible.
the audience, that the folks that are with us today might not know about, not necessarily what Renee said. Great joke, Renee.
I didn't
But
know.
that when we're doing a pilot, we most of the time you don't know if you're going to
Right.
keep that role, keep that job. Every day you spend however long, maybe a week, maybe 10 days, maybe 2 weeks. And you don't, I mean, it happens constantly. They replace people because of chemistry or who knows what
Right,
the
right.
reason is.
And they always say it's nothing personal, but you're fired.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty devastating as a
Right.
little
Oh,
girl.
of course.
No
But
doubt.
then you would never have done the Nanny if that had, imagine
Yes.
if that had kept going.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's
That's
You
true.
right.
would have been on the Nanny.
It all worked out.
Yeah,
It's
everyone
nice.
that was in our cast, they were from the beginning. Nobody got fired.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Well, Grandma Yetta, she
Yeah.
was.
Yes,
She was.
we don't talk about that. I'm kidding.
Okay.
that was a very like monotone. We don't bring that up, okay? We don't do that. That's on the hush. That's family business. It's not for everybody. That's what that was right
When we do the gossip part of the show, then we go into detail.
We can definitely get into that. Charles, how did you feel about being a part of the show when it began?
Me?
Yes.
It was so exciting. Well, as I say, you just don't know what you've got. My concern was being a sitcom dad. I'd be absolutely honest, and I knew that the business was littered with the corpses of sitcom dads. So I actually said to my agent, I said, listen, okay, but this has to run a long time because, sitcom dads, you don't get a second shot. That's it. You're a sitcom, that's who you are. And thank God it did run for 6 years. So even though I was right, and I was then sort of stuck as a sitcom dad for a long time, but it was kind of worth it. But I didn't, none of us knew it was going to be this kind of a success when we started. We just knew we had a really good pilot. We had a really good cast. We had a really good script for that first show. So we had a great cartoon opening title.
Indeed.
That's what made it.
So we felt good, but you never know. And the network was sort of taking us off and putting us on and changing the night. And then we'd have a hiatus and no one knew if we were coming back. And then in the summer, it sort of caught fire and it was run. So yeah, it was really exciting. I remember Fran saying, hold on tight. This is going to be a rocket ride. And it was.
That's amazing.
It was. But I heard that they had a problem with you, that they were worried you were too good looking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I get that a lot, Renee. It's just something I have to live with. I've made peace with it.
Listen, the struggle is real out here. The struggle is real. I love it. Lauren, how about you? How was it being a part of the show?
I was just thinking about, and this is another thing that the audience, the fans might not know about, the sort of sequence of events, of auditions that we do for any project, but for a television pilot, there's generally, now probably Charlie and Renee knew they had their jobs straight out of the box. I don't know, but I auditioned. So what was interesting to me was watching really famous comedians like SNL people, etc., who I loved, but I was intimidated by, fall off slowly, as you narrow it down to like, oh, it's between this one and this one, and that's just the way it is. Who your competition is, and they're going to be in the same room with you waiting to go in to audition. And then you do something called going to network, and that is when there's a room full of suits, like let's say 80 suits. They're not the easiest audience. And I remember, Charlie, the scene that I had auditioned with over and over, I was massaging your shoulders, and I can't remember what I was saying. Something like, "Oh, you need a shiatsu." I remember that I was saying, like, doing a little twirl on that word. And so I went in, did my audition, came out in a hall, and you're just waiting there. Danny and I were both auditioning on the same night. I don't know if everyone did, or anyway, I came back out, and then this man in a suit came out and said, "Hey, that was super. That was just terrific. Could you do it again and just be more real?"
Oh, wow. That's
Oh, you want to hear something funny? I auditioned for Seinfeld, and they said I was too real.
Wow.
But they wanted
Wow.
somebody who was more cartoony. Isn't that funny?
Wow.
Well, of course, what I said was absolutely, and I went in and I did it without the spin on anything. They loved that. So they could see that I could do it both. You know, that's one of the things they're looking for from actors, all of us. Like, can you take direction? Can you bring something that's your own? But the truth is, I ended up playing her much, much more like the first read. In fact, exactly like the first.
That's what happens.
I
That's totally what
auditioned
happened.
9 times for
Wow.
the
Oh my
Nanny.
God.
Yeah.
Wow. I
It
mean,
was like,
9 great times because you're here, which is fantastic. So I can appreciate the work that was. We actually have.
I didn't audition at all because Fran said they will never hire you. That they want somebody like Sheila McRae, who's more Presbyterian.
Wow. Wow.
So I'm just going to give you the job as a test. And then they'll say, hey, maybe she could do it. And I'll say, oh, no. And they'll say, yeah, give her a chance. So that's what happened.
That's the brilliance
how you take it. Yeah.
Fran is brilliant that way. She really, I mean, it's legend how she even got this pilot. Like for us to shoot a pilot, which was basically cornering the head. What was his name?
Jansky. So
Jansky, who was in first class on a plane. There was an empty seat next to him. Fran went, sat in the seat, and pitched the pilot.
Wow. Wow. Okay, this is like a perfect time for a spinoff from a question from the fans. So we have Sweet Sensation 44 asks, what was it like to work with Fran on this show? Obviously, she had such a hand in its happening. So what was it like to work with her as both the star and really a creator?
You know, I'll never forget that we were the first day of rehearsals of the pilot. Fran came in with this huge pot of chili for the gang, and she said, you know, we're going to be a family for a while. So Mama's going to make dinner. And she brought in, of course, I thought, oh, how sweet, she's been up all night cooking it. Silly me, she had some people cooking it. But nevertheless, it was just such a great gesture that she actually brought in, you know, there was caterers to do all that. She said, you know, she wanted to bring it in. And that kind of set the tone. She was the boss, and she was a really good boss, and she had a handle so many different plates spinning. She was talking to networks and studios and casting and writing. But she was the powerhouse that made it all work, you know, from the middle. So it was, sometimes she was busy doing other things, but when she was present doing her job on the set, she was always very present. Awesome. And then she'd be off doing other things. But I was always amazed at how she kept those plates spinning for 6 years.
She was very generous to people emotionally when she would act with you. She would, you know, just let you go and bring out the best in you all the time. And once she got over her drinking problem.
Renee, she's not here to defend herself. That's so mean. That's said in love, though. I know it is. I know it is. That's amazing.
Oh.
Lauren, how did you like, you know, kind of being the foil of sorts?
This was my, I love doing comedy. It's always my favorite, but I had done 3 hour-long dramas in a row before The Nanny. And so I wasn't really dealing with comedy, but it's my favorite thing to play. And so, and also this format was the first time I've done a half hour. So I was excited, but similar to Renee, I had also auditioned. Do you remember the Gary Shandling, the talk show host?
Show, yeah.
Yeah. I've forgotten the name, but anyway, I had also
auditioned. Show.
Was because there was 2 shows. Was that the one where he was the
host? Yeah. Host, yeah.
Yeah. So I had auditioned to play his wife, ex-wife, and it was through the same casting agency.
Wow.
And this is, you got to remember, this is before cell phones, everybody.
Uh-huh.
We're calling our machines or our service or whatever to find out what's your next audition today or whatever. And I got a call from this casting agency, and literally this is what they said: "You got the part." But I didn't know which show.
So you're like, yay! I don't know what I'm.
Something's good, but I'm not sure what it is. So that and auditioning for half hour is very different for me than these hour-long shows that I did. And okay, I'll say I have one more good story from the auditions, but working with Fran, look, however many years ago, we started in 93, 92, 93, to have a woman at the helm of everything and starring is sort of like Margot Thomas when she created and acted in and produced That
Right.
Girl, which was even. And we're still having that battle today. Like, where are the female heads of XYZ? Right. And there's Fran just doing it all and trying to have a life, which is, try that on,
I'm thinking, female directors too. Like,
yeah.
Lee Shallot being the our director, and Dorothy Lyman for so many years. I mean, she's a real role model, Fran. That's awesome.
Yeah.
She's a very strong woman.
And she's a damn shark. She knows how to get stuff done.
That's right.
I admire that about her.
That might be that New York mentality just coming out and being, don't take no for an answer. You just make it happen. That's it. Absolutely. We actually have a couple more questions lined up here. So Mitch Schuler asks, what did you enjoy most about playing your characters? And because he specifically started with Lauren, what did you like most about playing Cece?
Well, it really is fun to be mean. It really is. But because of the, look, Danny's role, Daniel Davis, and we're very, very good friends. He would have like the punchline always, right. And I would just have at least for the first few years, and then it kind of started to morph a little. But it's sort of a straight person, but you still have to play nonstop irritation, like episode after episode after episode with surprise. Like, oh, I didn't see that one coming. Like, and I think in the end, that's what they built their romance around, was that it was like a drug for them, right? So
the snark of love.
Really, seriously, like that weird. Who knows if the marriage lasted? Danny and I decided we had, because I was pregnant too. That we named our children Winston and Princess.
I like that. That's amazing.
That's my answer. Somebody else.
Renee?
Well, when I play somebody pushy, I always try to be innocent about it, because I love when people are aggressive and they really feel that they're innocent, and they really feel that they're helping and they're giving to you. And so I always try to come from that place.
Amazing. That's amazing. Right. Yeah, very well said. Nicole?
I think what I enjoyed most, I mean, it was major growing up years for me, 14 to 21. I had my 15th birthday on the pilot and my 21st birthday on the very last episode.
Wow.
It just timed out that way. And then I had my birthday on the pandemic episode too. Which was weird. But I think my most was living the transformation of Maggie. She was so beige in the beginning, and then kind of broke out of her shell, and I got to wear really cool clothes, and just I got to grow up before my eyes and
right. Eyes of the world. Right.
What?
You got to kiss Jimmy Marsden.
Yeah, and I got to kiss Jimmy Marsden.
I was
It's-
thinking about? Your abilities as a comedian are excellent. And I was just before we came on, I was thinking about that. Remember that scene with Rita Moreno where you were on the rope?
I remember
Oh, my
Peter
goodness.
had to hold me up, and I was so embarrassed because
were
I couldn't
so
hold myself
funny.
up that rope, and so he was like holding my butt up in the air, like out of camera, and then he ran off real quick, and then would just drop down. I couldn't stop laughing because I was just like, I can't believe he's doing this. I can't believe like this is happening to me. It's so embarrassing, but whatever.
It was great to see you on Masters of Sex. You had a good little run, but because you were so funny.
That was so much fun, but
great.
Really, I mean, like my jaw hurt at the end of the day.
This is about to take like all the dirtiest turns.
Oh, sorry. I mean, because I was just smiling so much.
She's smiling, people. She was smiling. Come on now. Clean it up. Clean it up, y'all.
But Michael Sheen was awesome to work with on that. Just everybody made me feel so comfortable, and I loved my brassy, part. I was 50 pounds heavier for that role. I went to Portland and drank a lot of wine.
Did you gain weight for the role?
Well, they wanted like a it's not Rubenesque. Is it Rubenesque?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Is that where a Reuben comes from?
No.
No, it's painting. Yeah, the painter.
Oh, okay. But if you eat a lot of Reubens, you will end up that way. No, I just ate a lot, and so I didn't care about when I found out I got the part, I went on a binge.
Oh.
Wow.
Like best role possible.
Yeah, it was great.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Thanks,
Charles,
Lauren.
how did you like playing it with the nanny?
Yeah, I think the thing I liked at first was the challenge of learning a new accent to play the part, to adopt this English accent, which, as you notice, I've kept. I think I was so successful, I maintained it in my real life. So now, actually, it's a funny story because for years, even now, people write in and say, I hear people saying, the only problem with Charles Shaughnessy's performance was that his English accent was terrible and he should have taken lessons from Danny Davis, who's genuinely English. And there's Danny from Little Rock, Arkansas, and I was from London. People still say it's the other way around. So
you're like, no, mine is not a play accent. This is how I talk.
Seriously, Danny Davis is really English, and I'm faking it. But no, the thing I enjoyed most was, to begin with, I felt like Maxwell for the first season or so was in danger of being just a little too buffoonish. He was sort of always the butt of the jokes. He was always out of didn't know what was going on. And I remember having my first kind of hissy fit when I kind of walked into the writer's room one day and said, this is just, you've got to let me smarten up a little bit. Otherwise, he's just not going to be attractive at all. And they agreed. And so we gradually sort of made him transition from just the sort of comic, buffoon to this potential romantic interest, which I thought was much more interesting way to go. And so I enjoyed that sort of keeping him the sort of what we called a stunned beast. There was a line in one show where Maxwell stands in the middle of the room like a stunned beast while all this chaos is going on, which reminded me of my dad. My dad flashed into my head. But I liked the fact that he was a stunned beast, but he was also, could be charming and attractive as well. So that was fun to find.
Renee, can you do your best stunned beast?
Yeah, it's just like kind of, what's going on? My dad would do that. My dad's a writer. He was a writer. And he would sometimes come down from his office and my brother and I would be yelling and shrieking, and my mom was trying to deal with the dog that had just crapped on the carpet, and you know, all this goes, and he would just come down, he'd stand in the middle of the room and go, yeah, okay, well, I'll see you later.
Is that a stunned beast?
That's the stunned beast.
That's the one. That's the one.
But you know,
Let's hear it.
from all my eating on the show, I gained so much weight that I brought a letter from my doctor saying Renee has to stop eating on the show because she's gaining too much weight and it's not good for her. And the producer, Peter Mark Jacobson, said, well, Renee, don't eat at rehearsal so much.
You're like, no, I'm trying to build character here. I'm trying to get into it. We actually have a question.
For him to say he didn't have the gorgeous pastries and stuff.
Exactly. 2020 JN asked for Lauren that they love your catatonic facial expression in the cellar scene.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can you do that right now?
They want some acting,
and they want to know what you were thinking when you did it.
Oh, first of all, that was so much fun. That was early too. Was that the first season?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. And that wig, it was sort of the giant version of what the wig Renee wore. So it was like huge. So Fran and I kept having to not laugh, right? Well, I'm just a brilliant actress, let's face it.
Absolute facts.
So
okay.
Just a stare is pretty elementary. It's fairly so I think I'll tell you the hardest part of the scene was I had to sing Luck Be a Lady tonight, and I had to go up and down the stairs backwards and forwards singing the song. Then I had to get the door handle which wasn't connected at just the right moment and pull it off. So it was rather complicated. It's like playing Lincoln or something, you know.
Yeah. Significant.
Get it.
Significant. I'm with that. That's amazing.
Did I answer? Yeah. Okay.
You did, absolutely. So Amy Bignon asks, other than the Nanny, what was your favorite role that you've played in TV or theater? And is there any roles that you would love to play in the future? Yeah, that's a heavy question right there. Like that's one.
Like everybody?
Everybody.
I actually had my favorite role quite recently. Which was Captain Hook in Peter Pan.
Oh.
With Jen Colella. Jen Colella from Come From Away. She played Peter. This was in Pittsburgh, and I was Captain Hook, and I loved it.
That's amazing.
It was so much fun.
That is amazing. Oh my goodness. We need like video of that to get us through this pandemic situation. Yeah. I need that joy. Absolutely. Renee, what about you?
Well, I always wanted to do some of the Garbo roles like Camille and Anna Karenina. And I hope when I'm older that then I'll get an opportunity to do them. I love the idea of dying from tuberculosis.
And a broken heart.
Yes. Oh,
and such a good sport.
I have missed your humor so much in my life. You don't even know.
Me too.
Lauren, what about you? Is there a favorite role that you've had or something that you would love to play coming up?
I got to play Barbara Fordham in August Osage County. Mm-hmm. And that was that's a 3-hour play. It is something else. And Tracy Letts is the writer. And so that was not only great material, but a real marathon. Mm-hmm. So it was good to have that under my belt. I want to be on a Star Trek series. Okay, I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, come on. Twitter fingers, people. Make that work.
I love Star Trek so much. Leonard Nimoy was my first crush.
Okay,
ever.
okay.
Yeah, I absolutely am not lying.
Wow.
I had such a crush on Spock.
Well, you'll love this, Lauren. His son lives 2 doors down from me.
Come on. Is he single?
Wow.
No, he's married, but he lives literally just our neighbor.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, that would be. I would love to be on.
Okay.
I'm a sci-fi fan too.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm kind of like Lauren. I would love to do a anything sci-fi. I love sci-fi movies and or like an action
Okay.
action,
Okay.
like Matrix type show. But I love, my favorite role was well, Minor Accomplishments. I loved that character because she was just such a, go-getter, and
Right.
that was probably one of my most favorite. And I loved Gotham too because I was evil.
Yes. Yeah. I
Those
mean,
sort
that
of
happens.
Science fiction and horror things are so much fun because you literally enter this whole other universe, especially on
Right.
TV. They built the sets and the costumes. I remember doing a Stargate up in Vancouver, and I couldn't believe it. You walk into this soundstage, and you're in this other universe. I got to literally fly a starfighter, and they had this thing in it, and they have the screen going past them. And I was like, oh my God, this is easy to act because you're just doing it. It's like,
because you're there, right?
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Off-world, out in an off-world aircraft. So it was, yeah, I always loved doing that. And I did a thing called The Magicians up in Vancouver too, which was a sort of horror fantasy thing. And again, same thing, these incredible sets that you walk into and you're just in this other universe. And it's like being a kid again. You're just playing this huge, expensive sandbox.
Yeah, and we're all going to be doing Charlie's Angels. Renee and Lauren and I are going to be in the remake of Charlie's Angels. With, Charlie, of course, being Charlie.
All of that.
I'm the voice on the telephone.
Yeah.
I want all of that right now. Like, make that happen. That's better than the Nanny in space. I love it.
Angels.
I can also do anything that Catherine O'Hara has done. I would sell an arm or something.
Okay.
Oh yeah, she's my favorite.
That's amazing. That's
Brilliant.
amazing.
Charlie, are you still doing My Fair Lady? I'd love to see you do that.
I'm getting almost too old, but not quite. I'll do it until they tell me not to. I've done it like 4 times now, I think.
It's amazing.
I love it. It's like it is.
Harrison.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I could probably, It begins to get sort of a little iffy when the Eliza is suddenly, could be your granddaughter. It just about was when she could be your granddaughter, it gets a little iffy. But
except Charlie, I mean, look at any movie.
Love in the Afternoon with Gary Cooper.
There you go.
Audrey Hepburn.
Right. I know. I saw it the other day, and I'm like, this is sort of slightly disturbing.
Little Lolita. Down. And did you see Sabrina with Humphrey Bogart in it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can do that. You could, but you try reversing it the other way, and you'd never get it on the movies.
Oh my goodness!
I could do it. I could do me and.
There you go. Or you could be it's like Sweet Bird of Youth. You can do that. That works.
Especially in that fabulous dress.
Yeah, definitely.
Damn, girl.
I mean, I'm just let me clean myself up a little bit over here. Actually, there's been quite a few fans that have asked, would you guys be open to a reunion series episode or anything for the Nanny? Would you guys be open to that?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, if it works, I don't quite know how you do it.
It depends how much.
Maybe it would be a prequel.
Ooh. There we go.
Well.
But none of us could be in it.
What?
It would have to be a sequel.
Yeah, definitely carryover. Definitely carryover.
Yeah.
Or it could be us all 5 or 6 years later.
There you go.
And they just
it could be that we all dream. Yeah, we could be like, now, and then we all get together and tell each other about this dream we had that we were all in this family.
Oh, I like that.
It turns out we're not actually a family. We're all co-workers or something. And we
my goodness.
We talk about this weird dream we had where, and you were the dad, you were the daughter. Oh my God, you were the mom.
That would be fun.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious.
I think that's a yes.
Yeah, definitely. I want to see that happen
like a
in some capacity.
type thing, Like,
Oh,
characters.
you just put a whole nother layer on that. That's, I like that. I like that. Liliana Maria Redwanski asks, who were some of your favorite guest stars? Ooh, that's a great question.
That's a great.
Yeah.
Gosh, so many. I mean,
there
that
was
was
so
my favorite
many
thing about the show. People say, what was your favorite thing about the show? It's unquestionably the guest stars. They started out with Carol Channing in episode 2, who sort of suddenly, allowed other guest stars to come on. But, Marvin, and it was always sort of inside baseball guest stars. They'd have Marvin Hamlish, Burt Bacharach, Donald O'Connor, all these icons.
And all the singers that were on. Elton John and
Celine Dion.
My favorite was Elizabeth Taylor, because she was just a simple, plain, everyday person.
That's amazing.
He was very nice to it. I mean, this is my experience. When we did a scene, she was there and but I also watched, like, we had 2,000 people on set that day, which we never, ever had. So clearly I wouldn't want to have to live my life.
She was wearing a big diamond ring, and I said, could I try that on? She said, no.
Not with the smack of the hand. Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
Oh
Donald
my goodness.
O'Connor.
I think it was worth $4 million that everybody wanted to try it on.
Wow.
She's afraid of it being stolen, because I look like, I would put it in my bosom.
She had every right to be afraid.
Oh my goodness. So before we get out of here, is there anything last minute that you want to say to the fans that are watching at home?
Yes.
Thank you for staying up late, those of you who are joining us.
And I'm going to tell you something, if it'll go no further than this Zoom.
Okay.
I'm not wearing any underwear.
You are going to get those chocolates from Switzerland. I'm going to tell you that right now. Somebody's going to send you something. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
So, but with almonds, slivered almonds.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
So much fun. Let's do it again.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
Because you're bringing back memories to me. Like, I love that part of this.
On you guys. Next time, let's have champagne.
Oh,
yes. We'll do it as a celebration. That is the way.
A little later,
I'd like to just say something to the people watching too, just to say thank you, not only for tuning in today, but for tuning in, every night. It's on somewhere, and it's you guys that are keeping this going. You're keeping
Absolutely
the magic of the Nanny going, because new generations are watching it. Kids are watching it.
Write letters to Sony to say, bring back the Nanny.
Yes.
These
Let's
people
let them know.
will work for practically nothing. Just chocolates and champagne.
Yeah, chocolate, champagne, and eclair.
I've been working on a sequel. I have.
Okay. All right. So let's make this happen. You guys heard it here. Yes. If you need a fan, proofread, I'm your guy. I got you. I'm there. So
thank you, Victor, for doing this.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yes, thank you, Victor.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to say really quickly, Daniel Davis wanted to join us, but he had just recently moved and was overwhelmed with boxes and so in the future.
Give them our love, because the three of us and Danny are the same natural blonde color.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Thank you guys so very much for joining. To everyone watching, don't forget, whether you're watching live or watching later on Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube, check out those paid exclusive experiences like one-on-one private video chats, autographs, and custom video recorded messages at wizardworldvirtual.com. I am Victor Dandridge, the hardest working man in comics, saying thank you to all. You guys were so fantastic. I appreciate your time, your energy, everything. This was a joy, and I appreciate it so much. I'm going to go watch The Nanny right now, actually.
Thank you, Victor. And don't forget about Renee's sex tape. Okay?
Yeah. I won't forget that at all. Nope. Not the slightest. Am I turning red right now? Am I blushing? I might be blushing. Oh, my goodness.
Me and Kanye, who's a regular kind of guy.
The hottest thing on the web.
Listen, I'll be your Kanye. How about that? There we go.
There we go.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.